Crystal Palace shock Europe. The night they made history against Rayo Vallecano. For over 100 years, Crystal Palace were known as the club that always fought hard, but never truly belonged among Europe's elite. Antonite, everything changed. In a tense and emotional Conference League final in Leipzig, Crystal Palace defeated Rayo Vallecano 1-0 and lifted their first ever European trophy. Buty Wanty's match. This was a story about survival, heartbreak, redemption, and a club that almost disappeared forever. Because believe it or not, back in 2001, Crystal Palace were only minutes away from dropping into the fourth division of English football. One late goal saved them, and now, 25 years later, they are champions of Europe. That's the kind of story football creates. The atmosphere before kickoff already felt historic. Both Crystal Palace and Rayo Vallecano were playing in the first European final in their entire history. Two underdog clubs, two fan bases who spent decades being ignored by the football giants, and one chance to change everything forever. The tension was unbelievable. The first half was cagey, nervous, and physical. Rayo Vallecano, the smashing above the weight, frustrated Palace early on. Every tackle felt personal. Every pass carried pressure. And for Palace fans, the fear was real, because they had seen heartbreak too many times before. Then came the moment that changed everything. 51 minutes into the match, Jean-Philippe Mateta found space inside the box, reacted instinctively, and buried the ball into the net. Explosion. Absolute chaos. Palace fans inside the stadium lost their minds. Back in South London, supporters watching at Selhurst Park erupted in tears. Screams and celebration. For a few seconds, it felt unreal. After decades of disappointment, Crystal Palace were leading a European final. And what makes this story even crazier is how quickly everything changed under manager Oliver Glasner. Just 1 year ago, Glasner helped Palace win the FA Cup, their first major trophy. Now he's delivered European glory too. Suddenly, a club once mocked for always finishing mid-table has become one of the most successful stories in modern football. But the match itself was far from comfortable. As the clock ticked down, Rayo Vallecano pushed harder and harder. The Spanish side threw players forward, desperately searching for an equalizer. Their fans kept singing. Their players kept fighting. But Palace defended like their lives depended on it. And then came one shocking detail. Despite all the late pressure, Palace goalkeeper Dean Henderson barely had to make a serious save all night. That's how disciplined Palace were. By the final minutes, Rayo players were emotionally broken. Some were seen crying on the pitch after the whistle.
Because this wasn't just another defeat. This was probably the biggest match in the club's history. And on the other side, pure madness. Players sprinted onto the pitch. Fans invaded celebrations back home. Mateta bounced around screaming, "We did it." Dean Henderson lifted the trophy into the air as gold. Confetti exploded around the stadium. And maybe the most emotional part of all, Crystal Palace are now officially the 12th English club ever to win a major UEFA trophy. Think about that. A club that nearly collapsed. A club that spent decades fighting relegation battles. Now standing alongside European champions. Football is insane. But here's the bigger question nobody is talking about. What happens next? Can Palace keep Oliver Glasner? Can they handle the pressure of now being a European winning club? And after reaching the top of their greatest mountain, how do they possibly do it again? One thing is certain. Tonight wasn't just a victory. It was the night Crystal Palace changed their identity forever. And football fans around the world just witnessed history.